Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is Matt speaking, and we are so back, boys. We got another update for Helldivers 2 today. I'm up early in the morning to get this straight to you early as possible. I'm going to be reviewing the latest patch, 4.1.0. They got a lot of new changes. They covered basically everything that I talked about in my review video for all the drama and balance issues. So just today I'm going to be going through the patch notes, and tomorrow I'll be trying everything and putting everything to the test. And I'll be starting with primaries, then secondaries and throwables, and after that I'll do support weapons and stratagems against each faction. And we'll see how everything goes. But we'll just go through the patch notes for now. So to start, they really wanted to put an emphasis on light and medium penetration. Light penetration weapons generally deal a higher percentage of their total damage against durable enemies, differentiating them more clearly from medium penetrating options. SMGs and pistols. SMGs and pistols have been adjusted to emphasize their role as close quarters weapons. Close range damage has been increased, the damage fall off has been increased to reinforce their short range identity. Melee weapons and throwables. As I said, they were kind of a gimmick. Melee weapons and throwables have been improved to make each feel more unique and impactful with their function. The first thing is the Punisher Plasma. They buffed my bad boy. They brought the damage up from 150 to 225. Damage projectile was decreased from 100 to 0 because there was no projectile. This gun had massive stun already, and I feel like it's going to be a very good gun compared to before. The flesh mobs having a weak spot, it's going to make a huge difference. The slugger was increased from 280 to 330, so it's still worse than the Halt. You still want to go for the Halt, but it's nice that the other medium options are going to be more valid. And the durable damage is increased from 75 to 90, so it's going to chip more often too. As requested, they brought the damage up of the Liberator. We all knew that it was going to be needed to be done eventually. Being the default weapon, it's fine that other weapons have more niches and are going to be better, but it still needs to have a place in the life of the weapons. It still needs to have a life in the family of the weapons and the assault rifles. So they brought the damage up from 80 to 90, and the chip damage from 15 to 22. So when you hit those weak spots, you're really going to feel the difference with this weapon. The damage difference from 90, penetrated being 65, that's going to be huge. And they did the same thing with the carbine. I feel like they should have brought the Liberator up to 100 and the carbine up to 90, because it's still just a better version of the Liberator. If they brought it up to 100, the Tenderizer would still hit harder but have a smaller magazine capacity, so it would still have its own place and own niche, and every gun would have its own place. But we're still getting there. We're moving forward, so that's a start. They even brought the Liberator Penetrator's damage up from 60 to 65. This gun was in a good place already, but it's just slightly better now, so that's going to be nice to see. Liberator Concussive was 65 to 75, and durable damage from 630 to 35. No one uses this gun. I mean, back at launch, you couldn't kill anything with it, so now that the damage is up from way higher than it was before, I think it was like 40 before, maybe 60. I don't know. Whatever it was before, oh my goodness. With how slow it shot, it was just miserable, but it's going to have good crowd control, and you'll eventually kill something with the amount of damage it puts out now. They buffed the Tenderizer's durable damage from 22 to 33, so that chip damage and weak spot damage is going to be nice. This gun is nice. Everyone needs to get on this assault rifle as soon as possible, and it looks like a battle rifle from Halo. They buffed the Pacifier. Now this one's important. This is serious. The damage went up from 50 to 55. They didn't increase the durable damage, which I think they should have, but stun value per projectile increased from 1.5 to 2. So hopefully when we use this on the flesh mob's face, which is now an actual weak spot, we get some good damage with it. Or if not damage, good stun values. As I stated before, the Defender and Pummeler kind of had no place in the family of SMGs, considering the DPS was just way, way less. They shot way slower and did less damage per shot, but they brought the damage up high. So it's 80 from 80 to 100 on Defender. Throwable damage increased from 8 to 18. Drag increased from 6 to 1.2. So when you get closer, it's going to hit a lot harder as well, since it's an SMG. It's going to be really nice to see how this performs, because 100 is nothing to scoff at, right? And for the Pummeler, went from 70 to 85, and the stun value per projectile was 1.5 to 2. I said they should increase the fire rate to make it stun more often, but just increasing the stun outright is another way to do it. The Reprimand damage increased from 125 to 135. This gun was already fine. Honestly, I don't know why they buffed it, but the drag was increased from 1.6 to 1.2, so when you get closer, that shit's going to hit like a truck. They brought the Sickles damage up 55 to 60. Durable damage increased from 5 to 6. This gun was in a good spot, but seeing it take the Liberator Penetrator's old damage value, which was 60, is nice. I have no problems with the Sickle. A lot of these guns just kind of got overshadowed by other things, like the double-edged Sickle, for example. Something that none of us expected to happen, they actually buffed the Halo Assault Rifle. The damage was buffed from 80 to 90. So it's still a medium Liberator, but it does damage like the Adjudicator. And it's medium, so that's going to be nice. You still can't customize it, so, you know, it still has its place in the ecosystem, but generally speaking, it's going to be a faster Adjudicator that doesn't have attachments. And as stated with the Halo Assault Rifle, they also touched up the SMG. Couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it when I heard this. 70 to 80 damage, durable damage 7 to 16, and drag was increased. So yeah, when you get closer, it's going to feel nicer. 10 damage, we'll see how much to the 10 damage makes it feel, because before I thought this gun was just not good at all. They also buffed the STA as requested. Oh man, I never thought I'd see the day. This gun's going to have more of a place in the ecosystem. I mean, I feel like no one used the kill zone weapons. Not only because not everyone has them either. So yeah, 70 to 90 on the STA. Durable damage from 7 to 18. Drag from 6 to 1.2. Same for the assault rifle. The damage is increased from 80 to 90. It's not. I don't see it anywhere in the patch notes, but if you've seen my video where I was playing with the Goofy Squad, you already know this gun's pretty capable, so it's going to be nice to see the damage go up. And before moving on to sidearms, the Plaz 39 Accelerator Rifle now has extra magazines. It went from 8 to 12, and ergonomics has increased from 40 to 6, so it's going to be easier to snipe, and we have more ammo as requested. So they touched up all the kills on weapons as requested, as the fan base requested, as I requested in my last video. But they also made the ergonomics better, and they gave it more ammo. I wish they would give it more of an ammo capacity or a single shot option, but they're trying to keep the gun as close as possible to the gun in Killzone, so fair enough. Moving on to sidearms. So before I mentioned that some of the weapons, melee weapons, were reskins of the other, and some were just gimmicks. So now the Saber, his damage was increased from 110 to 125. Full damage was increased from 55 to 65. So it's but the hatchet, the damage was increased from 110 to 160. Durable damage from 55 to 80, but the attack speed was slower reduced. So basically, the Saber is the fast one. Combat hatchet's medium. The machete is 170 to 200. And durable damage is 80 to 100, but it's even slower than the machete. So it makes sense, right? You got one that's fast, one that's medium, and one that's heavy. All they need to do is make the machete heavy armor penetrating, and then I think we'll be in business. The default pistol, the Peacemaker, damages was increased from 80 to 95. Durable damage was increased from 25 to 30. Drag increased from 6 to 1.2. Yeah, man, this pistol was kind of just shit, to be honest. I mean, there's no reason to use it. I mentioned in my video that and the Halo pistol were basically pointless, but they buffed that and the Halo pistol from 100 to 110. And the drag is also increased from 1.6 to 1.2 to just put more emphasis on that damage when you get closer. So yeah, it's going to be nice to see, but the problem is they buffed all the other pistols too. So now they're still all going to be kind of better. The Redeemer's damage was increased from 60 to 70. Durable damage was increased from 5 to 12. This one's harder to hit shots, so it kind of needed a damage buff. I mean, not really. I thought the Redeemer was fine. I think we all liked it. We don't use it on the bigger bugs anyway. We kind of use it on the small baby bugs or just the voteless. I'm not using this on bots unless it's, like the small automaton troopers. So, but it's gonna be nice to see because the other ones are gonna hit harder anyway. But this will be a faster version of it. So just kind of making it keep up with the other pistols makes sense. The verdict was increased from 125 to 135. The penetration and durable damage wasn't touched at all, which makes sense. I mean, this gun was fine. I love this pistol. It's my favorite pistol. They decreased the drag completely on the warrant because there is no drag because it's like an auto aim weapon. I don't have the warrant, so I can't show it off right now. Throwables, as I requested, the dynamite should be like a thermite that is a little less heavy hitting. And that's exactly what they did. They made it heavy armor penetration, so it can kill Bile Titan holes now. Damage was increased from 700 to 1,000. Demolition strength increased from 30 to 40. Stagger from 30 to 40. But use is decreased from 4 to 3. So yeah, man. If you didn't use the dynamite before, go ahead and give it a shot now. I never really used it. I always thought thermites were better, but this is going to be a more versatile thermite. So a higher skill thermite. Just think about it. If you were to throw it and let it sit for a second, it'll kill a nice big crowd. It can kill chargers, hulks. You're probably not killing titans with this, so I'd rather take a thermite. But you might be able to, throw a couple down. We'll see. We'll see when we test it out. The G7 Pineapple, the shrapnel was increased. So in the clip that I saw, I'll go ahead and put it up on screen. It basically looks like a cluster bomb grenade now. Demolition strength on the main explosion was increased from 30 to 40. The inner radius on the shrapnel explosion was increased. The damage on the shrapnel was increased. They removed the lifetime on the shrapnel. The shrapnel from the shrapnel explosion was decreased from 6 to 0. And shrapnel from the main explosion increased from 7 to 18. So yeah, huge rework on this pineapple. So we'll see how this is. I don't know if it could kill bug holes before, but they said that it can now. But yeah, basically cluster bomb grenade. They reworked the secret grenades to have higher priority on flying enemies. So the dragons, the shriekers, overseers, that'll be nice to see. The damage is increased from 400 to 500. Highest target priority for marked target. So if you ping an enemy and you throw your secret grenade, it'll immediately gun for it. And they also decreased the health on the elevated overseer exactly enough to make it die in one secret grenade. The normal frag grenade, the G6 frag, you get 5. You now have 6 instead of 5. The smoke grenades, you now have 5 instead of 4. Throwing knives, the damage was increased from 250 to 300. Durable damage was increased from 100 to 150. They should make these heavy, to be honest. It would make it a lot more fun to use. And it wouldn't make it overpowered because you still have to hit directly. and it's still hard to aim these things. This thing mentioned is that the Scorcher will now pass through foliage without losing velocity. I didn't really notice anything like this, but that's good to see. Last but not least, Stratagems. So they buffed the Epoch. The duration was increased from 3 to 3.25, so you have a longer charge up capacity, so now you can do more damage. The delayed the muzzle flash charge visual effects, so it now appears when the projectile is overcharged, improving visibility of the charge state, so it should be more obvious when the thing is overcharged. Damage on the standard projectile explosion was increased from 400 to 500, so if you just tap fire it, you should be able to kill like commanders or devastators. And the demolition strength on the overcharged projectile was increased from 10 to 30, so now you can destroy bug holes with the Epoch when it's overcharged. Good to see that, boys. This gun is now going to be even better than the Quasar Cannon. It's going to be a faster, stronger Quasar Cannon. I don't think you guys understand how big this is of a buff. Being able to destroy bug holes with this is going to be huge. But on top of that, you can now do even more damage with it. I was literally thinking while I was taking a piss the other day, what if you could charge it more? That would be a good buff for it, and then you could make it destroy bug holes. They literally did it, bro. Oh my god. They buffed the Stalwart. I was thinking they should do something to the Stalwart because it's still light, you know. They increased the durable damage from 15 to 22. So yeah, that chip damage, those weak spots are gonna feel nice to hit. Oh man, it's gonna be nice to see the Stalwart. The flamethrower, they increased the canister capacity. Starting canisters increased from 2 to 3. Max spare canisters increased from 4 to 5. The anti-material rifle has increased durable damage from 180 to 225. Starting magazine increased from 4 to 5. Max spare magazines increased from 6 to 8. So you just got more ammo. I wish they would increase or fix the drag on this thing. I really hate the sway on it. They increased the damage on the autocannon. The guy literally said he feels like people weren't talking about the autocannon enough, so he buffed it again. The autocannon was great, but now that they gave the War Strider a weak spot and they buffed the damage, it's probably the best support weapon against the bots. It was already one of my favorites against the Automatons, so now you're going to be able to fuck up that Harvester with it. As you know, in my video for the best loadout against the Illuminate, I mentioned how the autocannon was a sleeper weapon, and you could kill everything very fast with it, including the Harvesters, all shots to the eye. It's going to be even easier to do now, so that's going to be nice to see. The flesh mobs have a weak spot to the eyes, and they were already weak to it before. It's probably going to die in 2 shots to the autocannon with shrapnel shots. They buffed the de-escalator's damage from 55 to 100, and durable damage increased from 55 to 70. Oh man, 55 damage is less than a primary weapon. I hope you all are realizing that. The support weapon did less damage than... It still does less damage than some of the primaries. They gotta do more to that, bro. That's not enough, I don't think. Even the arc, I don't think the arc is enough to make up for it either. But the durable damage is increased 50 to 70, so you should be able to hit things a little harder too. So now they reworked the solo silo. They did what everyone wanted. So now the enemies don't target it at all. Like, at all. The health was increased from 800 to 1500. And they increased the demolition strength needed to destroy it. So it's going to take a couple of grenades to blow it up yourself if you want to get rid of it. But now, this is probably going to be one of the best stratagems. Take this over your orbital precision strike, over your rail cannon strike. But speaking of the rail cannon strike, default cooldown was decreased from 210 to 180. So with the upgrade, it's going to be 154 seconds. So 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Just like the solo silo. with all. And so yeah, Rail Cannon Strike, Solo Silo, that's gonna be your go-to picks for your dragon missions, boys. Just letting y'all know. Take this bitch to Osheune, and you'll be straight. They increased the missile penetration on the exosuits. Normal exosuit, rockets hit harder. Okay, so the exosuits missile armor penetration was buffed in worse angles from 6640 to 6650. Meaning, if you were to shoot a Titan in like the side, for example, or a Harvester in the side, for example, instead of its weak spot, which mouth or eyeball, it's not going to do nearly as less damage as it did before, but it's still going to be worth hitting it in the weak spot. So I'm sure if you shoot a Charger in the side, it'll kill it now. And the assault rifles ammo was increased from 1,000 to 1,350. The goal is to make light and medium armor-piercing weapons equally effective against certain common enemies by adjusting their durage damage and durable resistance values. So, for the Illuminate, the flesh mobs, targeting the face deals extra damage to its main health, effectively creating weak spots. The main health was decreased from 6,000 to 5,000. Most health zones are slightly more durable, slightly less vulnerable to fire, to balance health decrease. Elevated Overseers. Main health was decreased from 600 to 400. Head health was increased from 100 to 200, but the head zone armor is decreased from 3 to 2, so you can now headshot it with light armor weapons. Torso health was decreased from 600 to 400. Arms health was decreased from 300 to 250, and slight increase on how easy it is to set on fire. So yeah, Elevated Overseers are going to be a cakewalk to kill now, especially with the autocannon, and even now with light weapons. They added beam weaponry to the Leviathan, and they will not show up in missions outside of cities. This is going to be nice to see. They won't just snipe you on a flat map. Updated textures for all Rupture Strain enemies for better readability for the Terminids. And this is going to be nice to see. I mean, so I'm assuming they're back in the game. Let's look. It looks like the Predator Strain is still on Osheune, so the Digger Bugs are still not in the game. So we'll see when they get added back. The Rupture Warriors. Movement speed when underground has been decreased. It needs to surface more often when moving underground. Its borrow attack is slightly slower and leaves more space to be dodged. Smaller damage boxes when attacking from below. The front leg armor decreased from 3 to 2, so the leg is going to be its main weak spot. Will prefer to emerge before attacking turrets instead of destroying them from below ground. So your turrets will not be useless on bug missions anymore. They retuned the timing of how fast it starts to act from when it unburrows. It increases the size of its mouth weak spot for bile spewers. You know anything about the game, you'd shoot them with light pen weapons. It would basically do nothing to them. The Brood Commanders are slightly harder to set on fire, and so are the Warriors. Slight durable increase in head and body for Warriors. I don't think it's going to be much noticeable of a difference considering everything else has got buffed. The spawn rate was decreased for Dragon Roaches from 50% lower on difficulty 5 and 6, 40% lower on difficulty 7, 8, and 9, and 33% lower on difficulty 10. Destruction of the wings results in instant termination of the dragon. Wings now have their own health pool of 4,000, which is less than a flesh mob, so think about that. They're going to be easier to kill than flesh mobs. Increased how much damage wings take from explosions. So that means the grenade launcher and the autocannon should now be viable options against the dragon roaches. We'll see. Bile spewers are slightly harder to set on fire. Larger body parts are slightly more durable for the bile spewers. The Hive Lord, improved performance during Hive Lord encounters. That'll be nice to see. We'll see if that actually means anything and if they actually keep their word on that. Automatons. Base alarming. Automaton troopers and bases will require better visual confirmation before calling in reinforcements instead of calling them immediately. Basically, whenever you enter a base, they would already know you were there. They were just waiting waiting to make the call, right? Devastators are slightly harder to put on fire. Large body parts are slightly more durable. Um, I mean, they're nerfing fire a little bit, it sounds like, but everything else is fine. Everything else has got buffed, so you're going to be able to compete regardless, right? They remove ragdolling from its projectile explosion from the command bunker turret. So if it hits nearby, it won't ragdoll you, but if it hits you directly, it still will, which makes sense. The factory strider is slightly less vulnerable to fire. I didn't see people killing it with fire anyway, just explosions. War strider shoots 2 fewer grenades per salvo. It shoots grenades less often. Command bunker turrets removed ragdolling from the projectile explosion near you, despite when they hit you directly. So it's going to be the same for the War Strider. Added weak spots aim for the eyes and vents on the back, as requested by basically the whole fan base. Scout Striders. Armor top shield is more durable. So the War Strider got the nerf that everyone requested. I made a short about it, made a big deal about it in my video. A lot of people said they were fine, but those were just the glazed divers always using anti-tank weapons who didn't have fun with the game using anything else. Which is fine, use what you want. We need you a part of our team, Mr. Anti-Tank, but I want to use my autocannon. So now I'll be able to kill them reliably with my autocannon and railgun. Or Dominator. Or impact grenades, right? Fix an issue where Helldivers were unable to call stratagems in an objective area for the Nuke Nursery cave mission. Fix an issue with the B-100 portable hellbomb stratagem sometimes falling on cave roofs in the Destroy Spore Lung mission. Fix an issue with the drill objective stratagem sometimes landing in unintended places such as on top of caves in Nuke Nursery Hive World missions. So this is going to be nice to see, man. Basically everything when it comes to the Hive World missions have been fixed. All the big deals that we had. So go ahead and get back on Usha-Une, guys, and have fun. Let's fuck up the Hive World. Players can now stay aiming down sights when activating the lift hover pack. That's going to be nice to see. I still wish you had more control with the hover pack, but you can't. And there are various crash fixes. But there's some fixes for weapons as well. They fixed armor penetration values in the stats menus for the combat hatchet, the stun baton, stun lance, saber, one true flag, and the pineapple grenade, and the armor penetration values properly displayed as medium instead of light. Improved initial bullet alignment when strafing and riding in vehicles. Moved first-person camera further away from the solo silo's target designator scope. Yeah, that scope did feel a little weird, right? FOV kind of felt a little strange. Fix the weapon reload animations desyncing when wielding armor passives that give the increased reload speed. The spear can now lock onto automaton turrets. That's good. Anti-air turrets specifically. Fix projectile hitting direct center of sights when extremely close to objects. So now when you aim down sights, your shot's going to be where it should go, instead of directly in the center of your screen. Feedback is now present throughout firing the flamethrower stratagem. And a bunch of miscellaneous fixes and optimization fixes. So that's everything in the patch notes. They mentioned a couple other things in the video, and there's some things not mentioned in the patch notes as well. So there's some hidden fixes in the game. Go ahead and try everything out, and I'll get back to you guys on a video soon. I'll be trying all the primaries. Then I'll be doing secondaries and throwables. Then I'll do stratagems and support weapons. And I'll show off all the changes and fixes. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.